We gave thanks for the means of grace, that is, for the different ways that God chooses to channel his love to us. And one of the means of grace is each other, fellow Christians, the encouragement that other believers give us. Suzanne, she is a fellow believer. She's also a relationship counsellor and a mental health social worker, amongst other things. But the most important thing is that she's a Christian. And she's part of church life here, normally the 10 a.m. congregation. Suzanne has recorded a video message about looking after your mental health at this time for our church family. But to give us a little taste of that, Suzanne, can you tell us a little, what are the keys to caring for your mental health?
Yes, well, hello everybody. I just thought it would be useful. I think Mark a couple of weeks ago said about using our gifts to serve the body, and I thought much of my work is as a mental health practitioner. So I see lots of people with mental health care plans, amongst other things. And I guess during these really terribly isolating times and times where we've lost the structure of everyday life, there are some key things that I would sort of be speaking with people around, and which for some people might sound like common sense, but at these times, sometimes healthy habits go by the wayside. Yeah. And I guess a couple of things just for today to mention would be to remain connected as much as you possibly can within the limits. So for those with technology, that's a whole lot easier with FaceTiming, texting, phone calls. Speaking for myself, I'm actually losing my voice. I've been talking so much to people. For those who don't have technology, and I appreciate there's some like that, I was thinking about this and I thought even getting back to letter writing, even saying g'day to your neighbour across the fence at a distance, which Stuart and I certainly do with our neighbours. So certainly staying connected as much as possible. The other thing, there are many things I could say, but just a few off the top of my head would be maintaining structure in your day. Yeah. So making sure you get out of bed in the morning if you're not employed or you can't work from home, setting goals for the day, setting things that you get some sense of pleasure or some sense of satisfaction from, whatever that might be, cooking something, sewing something, doing some gardening, writing a letter, writing a text to someone, anything like that, to just give some structure, some sense of accomplishment and some sense of normality to life. Getting out of bed, putting your clothes on, having a shower, not staying in your jammies all day, and many other things, but they're just a few thoughts to start with.
That's really helpful, Suzanne. I know you're going to touch on other things in your extended message about our health, but I want to ask you, particularly spiritually, and if I can ask you more personally, what are you doing at the moment in these testing times? What are you doing to sustain your faith?
I'm getting outside and looking at the sky and listening to the birds, and which I tend to do anyway, but I'm acutely aware of God's good creation continues. Yeah. Really appreciating the things that continue despite the virus, which is love and friendship. And also, I guess, aware that, and not in any way diminishing the excruciating hardship of many millions on the planet as we speak, we're not the first generation of humanity to go through tough times. And I know that in the midst of hardship, often beautiful things can happen, like kindness and grace and generosity of spirit, and people will think about the deep things of life, their mortality, and hopefully the stuff that really matters, which sometimes gets lost when everything's going well. Yeah.
No, that's really helpful. And you've tapped into there, like the goodness of God, the goodness of creation, common grace, Him working through us with kindness. So last question before I get you to read the Bible. To go a little bit further than just what's sustaining you, what's just kind of keeping you going as a Christian, but Palm Sunday is a day of praise. Yep. What's keeping you praising God in a time like this? What's one thing you're praising God for?
Oh, heaps of things. We have the Bible. Yeah. We have teaching. Certainly in the West, we have enormous access to incredible teaching. Blessed to have your teaching. Blessed to have this body of believers. There's so many things that I could say that I'm thankful for. Shelter. An opportunity, I guess, to be able to continue. So personally, I can continue to be hopefully useful to other people, and I'm really grateful for that.
Fantastic.
So